need to invest in that with God. Our relationship with God is like any other relationship. A husband and wife that don't put in their relationship, a father and son, a mother and a daughter, two friends. If you don't invest in the relationship will break down and decompose. The Torah in this week's portion of Korach, discussing the rebellion Korach wages against Moses. Moses answers him and his people and says, I'm in chapter 16, verse 7. Utnu vahen esh v'simu alehen ketoret lifnei Hashem. Machar. Moses says, you know what? Let's do a showdown. Similar to what Eliyahu did with the false prophets. Let's do a showdown. Who can decide better than God? Let him say who the real prophet is, who's doing right, and who is doing wrong. So he tells him, you Korach, with all of your chevre, your whole following, bring pans, bring incense. Let's see whose incense and offering God's going to accept. Now the verse continues, Ve'aya ha'ish asher yivchar Hashem hu hakadosh. Hashem will decide who the holy man is, who the right person is. Finishes off, Rav lachem b'nei Levi, and he throws in a rebuke. He throws in a musar, and he says, this is way too much for you to handle children of Levi, meaning grandchildren of Levi. You're overstepping your bounds. This was a rebuke. Seems like a normal rebuke for the leader of a generation to rebuke those who are up against him in a rebellion. Look how the Talmud looks at this. The Talmud views this in Masechet Sotah, that Moses used the word Rav, which means it's too much, when he rebuked his cousin and the rebellion. And God uses the word Rav, it's too much for you, back on him. When is this? The book of Deuteronomy, chapter 3, verse 26. The Torah says, God tells Moses, when he's praying over and over and over to enter the land of Israel, he says, Rav lach al tosef daber elai od. He says, it's too much, Moses. Chalas, stop, enough. Don't speak to me on the matter of entering the land of Israel ever again. After delivering 515 prayers in the Torah portion of Vayetchanan, God tells him, halt, Rav lach, it's too much. So the Zera Shimshon looks at this piece of Talmud in Masechet Sotah and he says, it seems like Moses' rebuke to the clan, to the rebellion of Korach, was used against him. But what was he doing? At the end of the day, he was rebuking individuals for stepping out of line. He told them, let's have a showdown. Let's see who the real one is. Let's play fair. It seems befitting of the rabbi, of the leader, of the king of the Jewish people to give a rebuke. Why did it work against him? The Zera Shimshon wants to know. He says as follows. Moses came to them, to Korach va'adato, in his companionship, and he told them, you guys are not sinning against me. You're doing something much worse, much more severe. You're sinning against God. You're going against his will. It's his will that all of this played out. It's he who summoned me up to Mount Sinai. It's he who told me to elect Moses. It's he who told me to elect baby cousin El Safan. Not me. You're going against Hashem. The punishment will be very severe. He knew it would be severe. He knew by them bringing pans and incense and bringing a foreign fire and bringing a foreign incense and offering to God that they would be punished tremendously. But he went along, so the Zera Shimshon says, willingly, and can push them to do so in order that they get punished. Why? Because even Moses views them as upstanding individuals of the community and as tzaddikim even. And he told them, your sin against God, since you are tzaddikim, you will be punished stringently for. That was his musar. That was his rebuke. So you know what? God said, you are right there. But we're going to be right on you too. If everyone's here, and even Korach and his rebellion is here, Moses, you and I know that you are here. Again, you're Moshe Rabbeinu. And when it comes to being stringent on tzaddikim, yeah, we'll be stringent on this clan, on this rebellion. But we're going to be stringent on you too. Now you broke the camel's back, so to say, and you've done too much to not allow you into the land of Israel. Rav lach al tosef daber elai od badavar hazeh. It's too much for you, Moses. For anybody else, what Moses did was not enough to warrant them not entering the land of Israel. But you, Moses, you held Korach va'adato up here, and that they really did deserve being punished because they were tzaddikim and not regular people. You are tzaddikei tzaddikim, if you want to say. You are the most righteous, and you will now be judged more stringently. I know we are a little bit 3 months before Rosh Hashanah, literally. We're a long time before, a whole quarter before Rosh Hashanah. However, we do know, the Talmud tells us, that the way we act with others, Hashem will act with us. The way we judge others, whether it's stringently or with the benefit of the doubt, Hashem will do the same to us. Moses, on his high level, he was also acted upon by God the way he acted on others. It was a very, very chut hasara, as we say in Hebrew. Thin strand of hair. But at his level, he was judged on it. To us, maybe we shouldn't hold people up so high and expect so much from them. The concept of expecting and looking forward to is something which sometimes misleads an individual. Well, you're expecting from your spouse something. Should you really be expecting it? You're expecting from your parents. You're expecting from your children. You're expecting from your friends. Should you really be expecting what you're looking for? You know, if you don't expect it, you won't be let down. There's no disappointment. Now, there are certain things which are obvious to expect, especially between spouse, from spouse to spouse. But beyond that realm, the levels of expectancy we set for others should try to be to the minimal in order that we don't become disappointed and in effect don't judge them stringently or negatively, which in 4 months from today, by Rosh Hashanah, and every year by Rosh Hashanah and Yom Kippur, that wouldn't be used against us. It's something to think about. Again, Moses was judged here, and little, very, very thin. And Korach, he was also a righteous man, and his clan were righteous people. Bnei Israel was here, and we're here. We're lower and lower. But still, always to be careful, to know the way we treat others, the way we act with others, is a way God will reciprocate it back on to us. Make the right choice, the positive choice, good choice, and Hashem will always reciprocate towards us in the most positive way. Amen.